Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It's Anthony Saudi here at Men of Impact in Corona, California. We're we are we are live. It is Friday afternoon at 3:30 in the afternoon, which means it's time for Men of Impact, and I'm super excited. I'm super excited every week, but just to be here. But I'm super excited about my guest today, just because of the story he has to tell. And quite honestly, I have left some surprises for myself. I didn't even ask him about the whole story because I didn't want to know the whole story until we got here today. Oh, sorry. Let me turn down
All
that.
good, man.
I'm trying to share this to my page. Sorry, everybody, because I'm not very good at it. Obviously, I'm just not. So, anyways, it's Men of Impact. We are how this all got started is uh, we are still a Bible study that happens every Saturday morning from 6:30 to 8 o'clock at a Starbucks here in Corona off Indian Truck Trail. At the Starbucks. Right now, we're not at the Starbucks, but we're by the Starbucks because COVID kind of put a damper on that whole thing for us. But at this time, we do still meet there every week. Now, the reason that I started the radio show, quite honestly, is because the real heroes in this world are the guys, the everyday guys who get up and grind every single day, do the right things by their friends, their family, their community, their wives, their kids, whatever. They're not the heroes are not out there on the fields, the courts, and the stage. And I think during COVID, that's been proven even more than ever before. So I'd like to just highlight some of these guys, put spotlight some people that I think are uh, should be highlighted every week. That's who I bring on. I'm just trying to share this to my page, but I'm not doing very well. Uh, so I'm going to stop right now and get back to introducing Men of Impact,
There we
Nice.
right?
go. There we go.
MEN, Men of Impact, Impact with the K. You can find us on menofimpact.com. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on Facebook. As a matter of fact, we're live from Facebook right now. The Men of Impact page is we're live because I just can't figure out how to share it to my personal page. So I'll probably just post the link to the YouTube channel, which we're live on YouTube right now. And if you subscribe to YouTube, I'm sorry, when you subscribe to the
I
YouTube
got to do that.
channel, again, it's Men of Impact, Impact with a K, uh, YouTube channel. When you subscribe to that, then you'll get notified every Friday at 3:30. I'm not sure if I should have said that. Might keep some people from subscribing, but oh well, you need to do it. So we like to talk about Jesus. That's really what it's all about. Men of Impact started from the Bible study. And what happened was I was an awful human being, awful husband. And I don't say that lightly. And I was a decent dad, but I could have been a lot better. And so I went to church, got saved. Jesus found me in the gutter, saved me, changed my heart. And even then, still not a great dad, still not a great husband. But little by little, peeled away the onions. And then the people that, or what really happened for me was God put some people, men, into my life. I showed up at a men's group at a church that I now go to again. Showed up at a men's group, and most of my best friends, my really good friends, came from that group. And the people that I trust, and the people that I know, and the people that I can go to every single day if I need to, are in this group. So uh, we encourage you start your own chapter, your own Men of Impact chapter. Anywhere you are, we started with 2, and now we have up to 20 that show up on a Saturday morning at 6:30 a.m. Sometimes in 30, 40-degree weather, but we're there together, and that's what happens. Together, ape strong, right? So we're there for each other. We go fishing together. We do whatever we can together.
We
We're able to
do.
talk to each other. We're able to have accountability with each other, and that's kind of what happened. Is the men of God is what saved my life, my marriage, my kids. Saved me a lot more trouble, and my kids a lot of trouble that they would have been heading down as well. So that's why I bring in these guys again to highlight the real heroes of this world, not the heroes that the media and the other people would like to highlight. The basketball stars, the rich people, those are not our heroes today. So today I have two of my guys from Saturday mornings. Um, they're not new anymore, but they are newer to the Saturday mornings. But they are two guys that again I can go to at any time, no judgment, no anything. So again, men of impact at gmail.com. Start your own chapter. You only need to start with two guys. We'll talk about it again later on at the end of the show. But right now, I just want to introduce, first of all, my guest co-host is Rich Rang. Say hello, Rich.
How we doing, Anthony?
Fabulous, fabulous. And then our guest today is Ronnie
Yeah.
B.
Baroshik.
Baroshik. Okay.
Yeah, we known as Ronnie B.
Ronnie B. That's what
the
I know him
safest way to
as.
go.
I had to look. I even had to look up to see how to spell it
Mhm.
when I posted on there.
Yeah, it's a rough one.
So, Ronnie, just tell us a little bit about yourself, a little about what's God done for you in the last couple years, and then we're gonna get. I got lots of questions, so we forgot to talk about what's off limits, but it is what it is. So.
Yeah, it's all good, Anthony. So I just had my 35th birthday on January 25th, so just recently turned 35 there. I I own a tattoo studio called Black Mass Tattoo um in Marietta. Sorry, Anthony.
In Marietta, right?
Yes, in Marietta.
Do you have a website, Ronnie?
No, I just
Facebook
have
page?
Facebook and Instagram. So right now the Instagram is just my name. It's Ronnie B Tattoos. If you want to check out any work on there. I'm actually in the process. I'm going to be changing the name soon, so I didn't really want to emphasize the name too
But
much.
right now the name is
Black Masked Tattoo.
Okay.
So the last few years, with God, what He's doing with me, these group things are very, very big in my life. I was just going over my schedule here, and I got 6 or almost 7 now days throughout the week, almost on a daily basis, where I'm at some sort of group, whether it's the men's group, helping Pastor Nate at South Hills with the young adults, or whatever. It seems like there's serving at church, actual church service, all of that. We have prayer nights now on Tuesday night, and it's awesome. It's God's really my relationship with the Lord in these last few years has. I mean, there's no words for the strides that have been made.
Don't worry, I'm going to get some words out of you, Ronnie. Okay, so I don't know the whole story, right? I never even seen the video. I've never even watched the video with the 1 minute. Or
it's like 3 minutes.
It's the 3 minutes. Never saw it. So
it's quick.
You can't fit a story into that. But
no, sir.
Let's go back there. Let's go back there because there are some things that I do want to talk about.
Sure.
But tell me a little bit about where you were in life. Well, first of all, how about this? When did you get saved?
So I would say at 30 years old is when I dove in both feet, made this my life, doing life with Christ. Yeah.
Okay. So did you grow up in the church?
No.
Did you grow up not in the church? You were unchurched.
So yeah, I had the most any sort of God influence or religion I got when growing up was from my grandparents. They were Catholic, and they would bring us to, I think it was St. Matthew's Church down there, and I was young, and that was not a lot of things were explained to me, and that was like kind of the gist of. So it was very, very minimal. God and my, I was told about it. My dad, he definitely leaned more towards the Christian side, and but I wouldn't say anybody was really grounded. Any adults in my life growing up, mom definitely no, and that's who I lived with. So, but no, not much.
So did you grow up here locally?
I was born in Anaheim, California. I've lived everywhere from Los Angeles to Orange County, um, and then out here to Riverside County.
Okay.
Eventually, when I got older.
And again, I don't know the story, so let me have the synopsis of it. Give me something uh, where you were before you were with Christ.
Okay, so I
Get down to the dirty.
okay, I went down a pretty dark road um, when I was. It started when I was about 16, 15, 16 years old, and started messing around with drugs, you know. Um, and a couple years clicked by, of me consistently, messing around with painkillers and all kinds of stuff. Eventually, um, got booted out of the house. Found myself in Los Angeles, shooting heroin, um, smoking meth. If I could get my hands on some cocaine, I might mix that in with my little syringe there. Found myself homeless. Um, I was homeless, lived in my truck for maybe 2 or 3 years. It felt like a long time sleeping in that little single cab. But anyways,
Were you using heroin the whole time?
oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
oh yeah, yeah. I was all up in there. You know, I had getting arrested, little possession charges and stuff like that. But anyways, in some of my darkest moments in drugs, um, there was a suicide attempts. Um, I would say most of them are half-hearted. I don't know what that was, but anyways, um, at the darkest point, I'll tell you guys this. So this is something I don't tell a lot of people because it seems creepy. It's weird. It's different. But anyways, so in the height of that, I remember um, sometimes I would sleep in this garage. Sometimes I would sleep in this empty apartment. Um, Here and there. And anyways, I had this mattress that I would sleep on, and this mattress was on the ground. I didn't have a bed frame or anything, and I remember the first time this happened. Um, I got woken up from my sleep by what felt like. Have you ever had like a? Have you ever slept on a bunk bed and had like your little brother kick the top bunk? And
Yeah.
you're like, dude. So it felt like that. It was like a rumbling of my bed, right? So my eyes open up, and I assumed that this would stop as soon as my eyes opened. I just figured I was dreaming. I figured, no big deal. So I open my eyes, and this my bed is just rumbling, and I start trying to justify what's happening. I start looking around the room, trying to see other things moving, trying to tell myself that this is an earthquake. I'm trying to figure this out. Um, I will say that the first time it happened, I kind of dismissed it. Right? I just thought I didn't know how to explain it, but I just dismissed it.
Thought it was
Right?
a drugs.
Thought it
Dismissing
was, there you
drugs,
go,
yeah.
drugs. Right? So, anyways, this happens again, like a few days later. Um, and each time this happens, I'm picking up little more details about these weird encounters. So the next time this happens, boom, I get woken up again with my bed rattling. And this time, when I open my eyes, I am frozen in fear, like the type of fear that you feel when you're a child, the type of fear where you're paralyzed, where you feel like terror through every part of your body. And so what happened was I open my eyes, I look around in the room, and I can see these dark figures in the room standing over my bed while my bed is still rumbling, mind you, right? So there was no talking. There was no sounds, I remember. But I remember how it made me feel. And like I said, it was like a paralyzing fear. It was a darkness that I've never felt in my
You know what
life.
it is now, though.
Yes, yes. So this is the crazy part. So as this continues to happen, right? Okay, so I'm trying to dismiss this. I'm trying to tell myself this is drugs, this is me just tripping. I'm tripping. Well, this begins to happen a few more times, and then I start to notice, it's happening around the same time in the morning. It's happening anywhere from like 2:30 to 3:30 in the a.m. somewhere in there. And the beings or the dark figures would appear, and they would just be there. They would just stand there while I sat there in fear, trembling. And I now when I look back, I feel like me being so rebellious in the way that I was with drugs, with the things that I was doing, robbing people, stealing stuff, all kinds of
All of
all
that.
the stuff that comes with drug use. I realize that for me personally, I feel like God let me experience that, or He allowed it in a way, because it was like I wanted it or something. I was sick or something.
That's who
I
you
don't.
thought you were.
Yeah, I but I will tell you, any man out there, this will terrify you. This fear is not meant for us. It is not meant for God's children. And the for the guys out there that are tough guys, you know what I mean? You're so that kind of thing where you think the darkness is cool. Have you heard the guy say, "I'll see you in hell"?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That stupid saying, right? We have no idea what we are playing with. We have no clue the power and how we are not made for it. When you even get to taste it a little, when you get to dip your toes in, that's kind of what I felt like God let me do. He kind of like let me dip my toes in the pool. And it really, that experience, along with the suicide attempts and the trying to OD, I used to I would sit there and I'd try to get a good amount of heroin together, right? And I'd put meth, and like I said, I'd put cocaine sometimes. I'd put it all in one shot, and I would just whoop, try to put my lights out somehow. And obviously that didn't happen, but there was a lot of dark stuff that I did, and I was really, now I was being tormented by demons. Like I was just all up in the mess with no protection, is what it felt like to me. I just felt like I had no knowledge of this, is what I mean by no protection. I didn't know of
No
God.
tools to fight, nothing to
No,
even think about.
just rolling around in the mud like a pig. That's what it felt like, you know.
And so now you're saying you're in church, 6, 7 times a week, and listen, you know, I was a drug addict, alcoholic myself, and
Mm,
never. The one thing I didn't do was heroin, though, so
hmm.
I don't know what that
Thank
is
God.
like. You know what I mean? But
Uh-huh.
it's just a miracle. You got out of that. Not most people don't before they're dead. But the one thing I do know is that we dedicated a lot. We were very dedicated to our drug use and to our alcohol use, to
Oh
our
my gosh, yes.
right, to our
Yes,
addiction.
yes, yes, yes.
And I found that you kind of have to God has to be the drug,
Absolutely.
right? For guys
Absolutely.
like us.
Yes.
And honestly, God should be a drug for everybody, kind of like a drug, and not an addiction, because that seems like a negative
No,
connotation.
I totally understand what you mean.
But you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Yes, yes,
We have
yes.
to be in it,
Yes.
or the crazy can happen in our heads again. Because you've been through those kind of things and that kind of dark, Ronnie, and I've been in some dark places and been to some dark places as well. And when you really start thinking about the thoughts that we used to have in our heads,
Ungodly.
and
So
crazy,
bad.
just crazy stuff,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, to think about, like you said, you robbed people. I mean, to just have that thought is kind of crazy, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Absolutely
not
is.
everybody gets that. So I guess I just kind of want to do, I want to say hello to Sean. Sean Carroll is listening.
What's up, Sean?
What's up, Sean? A friend of mine, Jonathan Duran, too. So, hey
What's
guys,
up,
how you doing?
Jonathan?
Um, so now we're how did Jesus? Where did you encounter Jesus?
So when I came out of the drugs,
And okay,
Sorry.
Okay, let's start there. How did you get out of the drugs? Because again, like I said, most heroin users very, very seldom are ex-heroin users.
Mm-hmm.
They're usually dead
Mm-hmm.
heroin users. So,
Yeah, it wasn't very easy. One thing I no matter what kind of user you are, you have to make the decision. There's no such thing as a perfect rehab or a perfect anything, you know.
did you do rehabs?
Yeah, I did a couple. So I did a medical rehab, and then I just did a 30-day detox. And you know, I think for me, the decision was made beforehand that I was done. So I know there's programs out there, and I hear of guys all the time where they're still using, but they're doing the program, or these programs are there, and if they're used correctly, they're very helpful to people, you know. But anyways, that was how I did it. But there was many times where I just was not ready, you know what I mean, and I didn't commit all the way. But finally, it really came to me coming to the end of myself is really what the core of it. Um, but anyways, coming out of drugs, it wasn't over yet. I still had I knew of God, right? But that doesn't mean a whole lot. Um, but I had a foot in and a foot out. For like the next 7 years or so. I still wasn't focused on him. I felt like, oh, cool, I made it. We made it out of the drug thing. That's great, But I didn't.
I made it out of the
I made it the biggest eye problem ever. And so, anyways, uh, started dating and stuff. I had a couple rough ones there towards the end of my late 20s, and you know, I remember at the one of the last breakups that I had. I was sitting there and I'm like thinking of the drugs. I'm thinking of my whole life. I'm looking at it, and I'm like, what do you got to show for this, Ronnie? I'm 29 years old at this point. I'm like, what do you got to show? What look like? What do you look at you kind of thing, And I remember being in my garage, and sex, by the way, was one of the last things I gave to God. I held on to that one for quite a while, but I remember being in my garage, and I remember once again dropping to my knees and coming to the end of myself. But this time it was different. This time it was God's way. It wasn't my way anymore. I didn't care what He was going to ask me. I didn't care what I had to do to get where He wanted me to go. I was done. And in that moment is when I felt God. I This is how I explain it. I felt like my spirit was sleeping until that moment. And what had happened from that day, that prayer on, was amazing. The transformation began. God started. I felt Him. I was alive. I had life in me now. And it all came from me giving it all to Him.
submitting.
It didn't work until then. It didn't work. I tried to hold on to the last thing. And it's just He wants you all. He wants all of you. And that's what happened that day. And then ever since then, so like I said, I just turned 35, so that was when I was 29. So ever since then,
You've been celibate.
oh yeah. Yeah. It's that, and
Celibate.
that's a rough one
A
right
grown-up
there,
man,
Anthony.
29 to 35 years old, you've been celibate.
Dude,
You guys hear that?
you hear the sigh?
Yeah.
Lord help me.
So,
Right?
and it's not. Listen, he's a tattoo artist. So at 29, were you an artist, tattoo artist?
Yes.
So
Yes.
okay, were you a tattoo artist while you were in the drugs?
No.
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 So that was one of the first things when you got
20
out of the drugs. You
25.
started learning the trade.
Yes. 25 was when I became a professional tattoo artist. But yeah.
Okay, so first thing you did, and listen, the reason that I want to accentuate all of these things is because that's crazy.
Yeah.
Is at and again, a lot of guys can get discouraged, and it doesn't matter. You may have been in the dirt or in the mud longer than that. I mean, Ronnie, you know, he figured it out kind of, and I'm sure you damaged lots of relationships, parents,
Oh yeah.
relatives, right?
Oh yeah.
Friends,
All of it.
right?
All of it.
Who probably really weren't your friends, but you didn't treat like friends either.
Right. Yeah.
So you weren't really their friend either.
No, sir.
Right.
Not at all.
Because when you're there and you're talking about, again, we go back to the robbing people. I'm sure some of those people at one point you called your friend.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. So the reason I want to, I'm talking to the guys now, is there's always hope, but how is hope spelled?
Oh yeah.
J-E-S-U-S, right?
That's right. I forgot from the other day.
That is how hope is spelled, guys.
Amen.
J-E-S-U-S.
Amen.
You had to get to that place, and we don't really know. Can any of us really explain? I don't know how I got there, except we do know how we got there. Jesus got us there.
Yeah.
But that one moment in time, right? That one moment in time where, I mean, you're a drug addict,
Mm-hmm.
right? And hanging out in your car, and then one day, Jesus touches you and goes, "Okay, look, brother," and it's kind of that. I don't know. I'm not going to talk about that, but
it's amazing how he will, like I talked earlier, I used an analogy like a pig like rolling in the mud, and that's really what it feels like to me. The dirt, like the disgust of it, that lifestyle really like hit me hard. But what really like what really touches me is that Jesus, he will come down there and he'll get dirty and he'll help you up. And that blows my mind that he would do that for one child,
one guy. You
One
don't have
guy.
to be clean. That's really not even our job, right?
Yeah.
It's Jesus' job, and listen, he worked on me for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
a long time, and sometimes it's quicker for some, sometimes it takes a long time for others, and that's kind of why we're here. I just feel like he worked. It took him so long for me. I owe him a lot.
Amen.
You know what I mean? So that's why one of the reasons why we do the show, one of the reasons why we do the Bible study, is I owe. It's off to Jesus I go. That's all I know.
I like that.
So so I just want some of the guys out there that are struggling, that feel like there's no hope, that feel like there's that they can't get there. You don't need to get there.
No.
All you need to do is look at Jesus and give yourself to him. He'll show you the way, man.
We do it backwards. We're so back. I mean, to think, hold on, I can't go to church yet. I need to get clean first before I go present myself, or how, whatever your way of thinking is. But it's so backwards. God, he likes to help you through this. He that's his business. He's in the transformation business.
That's
you know
his
what
business,
I mean?
baby.
So for you to think that you're gonna fix yourself first and get your stuff straight before you come, like, I and it makes sense to a worldly mind, right?
Yep.
I mean, it's
you don't have. We mean worldly mind. We don't mean an unbeliever, because you can believe in God and still have a worldly mind, right? There's churches full of those guys.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Church, we're not gonna sit here and sugarcoat it, man.
Yeah.
Church is full of hypocrites, but that doesn't mean you don't go there because it's full of hypocrites.
Mm-hmm.
Church is for the sick. Jesus is the great healer.
Oh my gosh.
It's not for it's not for the healthy, right?
Amen.
Amen.
A house
baby.
for the sick.
It's a house for the sick, right? And we're all sinners right up until the end.
Right.
We're gonna sin all the time. The difference is, like that always says, you don't want to sin, right?
Yeah. That's something. When people get talking about it, oh, you're just sinner saved by grace, right? You do what you want, and to a certain extent, I understand why they're saying that. I see what they see. I see the hypocrisy in the church. The sad thing is, men are like the Pope, for example, and the bad thing. I mean, men are put on a pedestal almost, and when they fall, man is flawed, right? So they end up, when that man sins or when something happens, they blame it on the God they serve. You know, not giving them an excuse for what they do at all. But people get those confused. You know, you have to go searching yourself. You can't watch
You
another's.
cannot.
No,
You
you're
cannot.
watching a fallen rate, a fallen, humanity.
Rich
You know,
is always talking about that, right, Rich?
Oh yeah.
Always talking about the world is broken and men are broken.
yeah. You go on a search for yourself, and you'll find him, or he'll find you. I don't know how that
He'll
works,
find
but
you.
there you go.
He ain't lost.
He's not lost,
He's
right?
not the lost one, man.
Right.
We're the lost ones. And you know what? It's funny that you say that. I used to always say, I can't go to church. The building will fall down.
Yeah, I'll catch on
That's
fire.
Struck by lightning, right?
Struck by lightning, right?
Yeah,
No. And here's the thing: if there, even the hypocrite, even though there is hypocritical,
yeah.
I don't want to say hypocritical, I guess, sinners. The church is full of sinners,
Yes,
guys.
yes.
So
Thank you.
let's just be realistic. Let's
Thank
not
you.
say hypocritical.
Yeah,
That's what an unbeliever will say. It's hypocritical, right?
yeah,
But we know that it's just full of sinners
yeah.
that are going to sin. I mean, that's just what they're going to do, right? But let me tell you something, guys. Let me tell you something about those guys that are at church that are still sinning every single day. Like, well, the three of us, we still got a better chance because we're going to church.
Right.
We
Right.
got a better chance because we go to Bible study with guys who, quite honestly, are going to tell you.
Right. Oh
Right?
yeah.
They're,
Oh yeah.
And I think that's just a perfect lead in, Anthony, because I think Ronnie's probably got quite a bit to say about what kind of impact he's had being in a group with other men. Instead of doing life on his own, instead of isolation, Ronnie has proactively decided and committed to kind of team up with some other like-minded folks. Give us a little bit of a history on that and what that's looked like so far, Ronnie.
when we get back from the break, we'll
No
get
problem.
right into what it is, what men of impact, what men in general mean for other men, right? And we'll
That's
talk
right.
about that right after the break. So we'll see you in 5. We're up. Okay. Thanks, Tyson. Thank you so much. I want to say hello to Tyson in there. He's our engineer.
What's up, Tyson?
He does a great job for me. It's something that we've always wanted an engineer of our own that was going to be here for us every single day, so he can figure out how we work and we can figure out how he works. So uh, we're back again for the last time than we already talked about. But we segued into that, Ronnie. One of the things that I know that Ronnie wants to share and that we would love to share is what we really want to share with all the other guys out there is what having guys and fellowship. You know what, Rich? What was it again? What was that question?
I would just love to hear what kind of impact it's had for on Ronnie's life to be in a group of and be doing life with other guys.
Okay, I'm gonna read this real quick. This is 1 Corinthians 12:14. It says the body of Christ is a diverse and composite unity in which the members exhibit different gifts and different ministries. You know, the men of impact, uh, I group doing life with other men that are on the same path, that are like-minded as one, has changed everything for me. First of all, like you were talking about earlier about our friends, right? When we were drug users, I didn't know until I got in a group that I had no friends. I had no idea, right? So I'm sitting there and I remember I'm hearing it was at the time it was Pastor Jeremiah was over at South Hills, and he had said something where he goes, he had a tragedy in his family and he was going back and forth to the hospital, and he told us that the men in his group were coming over, cutting the grass, picking his kids up from school, his other kids up from school, all that stuff, you know. And I thought in my head, I don't have one man or anybody in my life that would do something like that for me ever. And now I have 12
20.
to, yeah, 20 guys. I don't know how many I have in my phone now, you know. And any one of you will answer the phone for me or get back to me, and you would be there, you know. And I can say that with extreme confidence, you know. And
And here's the reality: when you look down and you see it's somebody in the group, you know to answer the phone.
that's how it goes.
There's got to be something.
Yep.
It's either they need help or they need to talk, right? Hi, Michelle. Hey, Joe Silva.
What's up,
Hi,
Joe?
Mike Miller.
What's up, Michelle? What's up,
Okay,
Mike?
go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, so but anyways, as far as the group goes, you know, uh being guided, you know, I got two guys sitting right here in front of me, you and brother Rich, you know, and along with a few other guys, the having a mentor is huge. You know, I when we were over at the other church and they were talking about having a Paul and a Timothy
Mm-hmm.
in your life, you know, someone that you're role modeling or that looks up to you, and then another that's leading you or helping guide you, you know. And that's huge, you know, because especially in your beginning baby walk of a Christian, you need men in your life that will, because there's a lot coming at you especially in the beginning. You don't understand things, you haven't read things, you don't have knowledge of certain things. So to have you guys around has just, I feel like I've been narrowed or you know, kind of banged into the right pathway. You know what I mean? And to watch it modeled also from the other men, not just said, watch it modeled, watch it lived. I see you guys all the time, you know, and so I get to do life with you guys, and I just didn't know people lived like this. To be honest with you, I didn't know, like, you know, when you get in the Bible and you read, we're meant to be together, we're meant to do life together, and to think how isolated people are right
Especially
now,
men.
especially men, especially us. Stay home with our wall up. Ain't nobody getting into my emotion. Ain't nobody getting into who I am, you know? And it's so freeing to be in a group like this and to be an open book. It's amazing. It's amazing the strength it gives you as a man, you know?
And that's one of the things I always talk about on the show about how men, uh, tend to isolate. That's one of the things we do. And we know it's a
Yes.
bad thing. Right?
Yes.
We in the group, at least we know,
Yeah.
right? I mean, if you really think about what men do, right? They literally spend money to build a man cave.
Right.
And then they show their friends.
I never thought of that.
Come check out my man
I
cave.
never thought of that.
Look how awesome my place
Oh
where I
my-
can go be alone with my
Look at my throne.
crazy thoughts.
Yeah.
Because if you're a guy, there's crazy thoughts, man.
Yeah.
Of course.
I don't care who you are. You don't have to have been a drug addict to have crazy thoughts as a guy,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
The lust in the men, there's just everything in men. So, really, celibate for 6 years, people.
Oh Lord.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
That is a special kind of thing. So, he's single, obviously, ladies.
Right.
So, and you can find him on Facebook, right? Ronnie B.
Ronnie B.
On Instagram, Ronnie B Tattoos. I'm just saying, ladies. I'm just saying.
You never know.
So maybe you don't maybe you're not ready, but maybe you got a sister, cousin. I don't know, but just understand this: she's going to have to be celibate till they get married, and
That's how it's going.
probably a believer, right? Needs to be a believer.
Absolutely.
So there's got to be red. I always talk to my daughters, and we were talking about it. I was talking about it to my son-in-law last week. There's red flags, right?
Yes.
And we as men sometimes, and as women, we overlook those red flags.
Willingly, sometimes.
Willingly, correct.
Mm-hmm.
Because we'd rather have the sex. Or we'd
Yeah.
rather have the companionship or whatever.
Mm.
I'm just telling you, if there's red flags and they're not into Jesus, kick them to the curb.
You know, I tell you, when Jesus is truly on the top step in your life, it changes the game when you go to date. You know, everything is ran through him first before anything happens or before, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's different, you know, but it's, again, you know, doing it God's way is that has to be the most important thing to you, is really what it comes down to.
Well, it's what he wants.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
So
It's
if it's
definitely
what
not what I want.
right, so if it's what we want,
Mhm.
we're in line with what God
Mhm.
wants, right?
Yeah, that eventually, yeah. I mean, aligning when your wants and your will, whatever, lines up with his, yeah, it definitely makes things a lot easier.
Makes
You know.
joy. Does it make life easier, Ronnie?
I think so.
Okay.
I think
Does
so.
okay? How about this? Let me pose that question a little bit differently.
Okay.
It does life get easier?
Oh no, that doesn't happen. But
The way we respond.
yes.
Yeah, you had a few hiccups in your tattoo place business a while back, right? And the way that you dealt with
Oh
it,
yeah, that was.
I just saw.
Yeah, that was rough, man. So when I opened my tattoo business, you know, I prayed about, this was the first thing I had actually prayed about and knew that I did this with God. Like he wanted me to do this. And I spent a lot of time like thinking and praying and all that. So when we opened the shop, I had a business partner. I had we had an apprentice, and at one point we had a piercer and another tattoo artist. So there's about 5 of us in there. And you know, the first year went by, and a little rocky, but I figured, new business. That's how it goes. So second year comes by, and the problems start to come, you know, and with individuals, you know, start finding. I remember I found out our piercer was a drug dealer full time, not a piercer full time, you know. I feel like I needed to know that before he was hired, right? So you know, my business partner had hired him. You know, I gave him the thumbs up. Hey, if you think he's good, then I wasn't there. So, you know, anyways, so we had this team of non-believers, you know, which finding a believer as a tattoo, or that is a tattoo artist or in that field, is like, I'm realizing now, I don't know.
There's you.
Right. So far. So that's what it seems like. So, you know, what ended up happening to get through this is one by one, from now looking back, God started pulling weeds from around me. These things started to happen where, um, people had to leave. I would have to fire somebody. I had to play boss, which I am not. That is not me. Like, I'm an artist. I tattoo. I like the fun part. Don't make me be a boss type of thing. So it was rough. It was rocky, and I started realizing, you know, these people, this crew, um, wanted no part of God. They wanted no part of my transformation. So, me working next to them, they seen me, they talked to me, they would hear my conversations, with my clients and stuff. So it was around them, but they wanted none of it. And so I think, after some time, God started shifting things around in my life, and I ended up losing all the crew, all the way down. I get to my apprentice, right? And I'm sitting there, and I remember praying to God, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, God, can I keep one? Can I keep one employee or something? Like, because I got I got this vision in my head, right? I got
Right,
my little
right.
game plan of how this is supposed to work out. No, not even the one. Nope, clearing them all out, right? To the point to where I remember I was over at Rich's house, right? And I told Rich, I was like, it's foggy right now. I can't see through the fog. I don't know what he's doing. I know I'm in this with God. I started this business with God, I feel. And to see it crumble, oh, my knees were getting wobbly. And I remember, all places in my house, in the shower, wherever, I remember constantly preaching to myself, telling myself that, like, I knew what God was going to do. I knew he was there for me. And I had to tell myself this over and over and over and over. And so I remember I get to this point where I'm like, God, I don't know what's going on. But if you want me to do this, or if you want me in this industry, please, please help me out there, or something, some sign, something, right? And if not, I'll walk away. I'll do something else for a living. I don't know. So Romans 1:16 is about being unashamed of the gospel, right? I that was something that stuck in my head, reading through it. And one day so I'm done with that. I'm done with this building, right? This building, I repainted it. We're walking out. I'm moving the furniture. Tattoo shop's done, right? And as I'm walking, I look to the side and I see a room number, right? I look over and it's vacant. And I check the room number, right? And it's room 116, of course, right? And in my heart and in my head, I started jumping, I'm like, this is it. This is the sign. This is what he wants me to do, right? And so I go home and I start praying, and I'm like, God, only if you want me to. Only if you want me to. I don't want to do this. I'm not trying to force something that shouldn't be done. And I really felt him speak to me. I really did. And I literally, that was one of the first times, like, I actually heard him tell me, I want you to. And so here we go again. I go back in. Here, I sign the lease. Back. I start praying. I go in the room 116, and I start praying in the room, right? Before I move anything in. And I will tell you, I did not see what God was doing at the time. But now, in that room, in room 116, almost on a daily basis, I have a conversation about God with my client, or something church related, or something. It goes down that road. And I realized, in the old setting with all the employees, I couldn't have those I couldn't get the honest answers from people, because they were surrounded by, judgmental non-believers. They didn't want to have those deep conversations, those healing conversations. And in this room, what God's doing is blowing my mind. I mean, I walk out of there, I'm driving home praying, thanking God for what he's doing in this place. And I don't know if the room numbers connected to the what's being done. I mean,
You don't know?
being unashamed of the gospel, being unashamed of the gospel, and getting to talk about it every day, doing something that I love to do, and I make a living at it. I don't deserve it. Like, I can't thank him enough. But looking back, of course, is when you see everything clear. But I'm telling you, it was foggy, man. You probably seen the worry in my eyes. I was.
And wow, that's pretty special, really. And the encouragement that people should be hearing from that whole story is he is able to pray. And it's one of the things we talk about a lot on Saturdays is we don't pray enough. And this guy's praying a lot. And I already know this guy. He prays a lot. He took that all to the Lord, and he'll still tell you he doesn't pray enough. I can tell you that about this guy right now.
Yeah.
And, I know a lot of guys that pray a lot. I'm sure Thad tells himself he doesn't pray enough.
I'm
Right?
sure he does. I'm sure he does. I'm sure he does.
And I know he prays more than probably anybody, any two people I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that is one of the things that I want to impress upon anybody listening out there is pray about it. Pray about everything. Pray about the small things. Pray about the big things. Pray about everything. And again, I always go back to that. You pray when it's going good. You pray when it's going bad. And in all that, you thank him. Thank him in
Right.
the dirt. Right.
Yeah. I was just going to say, I love that super, super easy saying that, much prayer, much power. Little prayer, little power. No prayer, no power.
And the Bible tells us about those other your partner and your employees. He tells us it's just people don't like to come out of the darkness. They like the darkness more than the light.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And we even studied a couple weeks ago about how don't get fooled thinking you're in the light when you're in the darkness. Remember that?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's not even we can still be in the darkness and think we're in the light. Right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of people
Very deceiving.
A lot of people at church like that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And again, so I'm going to tell you guys, anybody out there that wants to listen, not a fan. That's what that book is kind of about. Read that book, not a fan. So we're down to 7 minutes, almost 8 minutes.
Shout out.
And what we talked about was that's about the time we need to start wrapping it up because we're going to give any shout outs. Rich, you got any shout outs? Anybody you want to say hello to?
Yeah, gosh, we got a lot of shout outs and just our brothers of Men of Impact. There's too many to shout out, so I'm just going to say Men of Impact, man. We're going strong. This is, having our brother Ronnie here and pretty good stuff, guys. Pretty good stuff to see what God's working on. So,
yeah, I just want to thank Sean and everybody. I hope this is amazing to have this little studio and to do this and to reach the people. I know God's gonna do something big with this, and what in the future. But the ride's gonna be fun, right? The whole journey with this whole radio thing. This is great. But thank you.
Well, and I want to thank both of you guys for being here, being part of the group, for your faith in the group, and for your just what you bring. Everybody's got their own gifts, and everybody brings their group. And just thank you for being there for me, for being there for the group, and for bringing that heart. A lot of times I've said it in the past, Rich is kind of he's got a better, or not, I don't want to say a bigger heart than me. And it's just so good to have met both of you guys and be there. I want to say a shout out to all the guys. Really encouraged by this. Where is the 116 tattoo shop? Amy Lee wants to know.
It is 40555 California Oaks Road, Marietta.
Say it again.
40555 California Oaks Road, Marietta.
Hey Abel, how you doing, brother? I haven't seen you in a long time, man. Good to see you, brother. Love you. Jerry's watching.
Yeah, Jerry. I love Jerry.
So give a shout out to all the people that listen, that were listening. I know I said hello to most of you already, but I just thank you very much for listening. Share this. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. We are on all the podcasts. If you're just going to listen to the podcast, tell your friends about it. This is I just keep marching guys in with a story. That's what I kind of do. If you got anybody you think, I don't have to do this on site, although it's really fun to do it on site. but we do have the technology to do virtual as well. And it looks like we're on site. Looks like you're actually here with me. So Sean's got that hooked up. We broadcast out. We're actually live on YouTube right now too. We go to different podcasts, which is we're on Google Podcasts. We're on I don't even know what it is. Apple Podcasts. I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm not young, but we're again. I'm just a plus 50-year-old guy, plus 55 actually.
You're great, Anthony. You're great, buddy.
Just coming out here. I don't know the technology. I decided to sit in front of a microphone one time and see what I could do with it. And I'm not gonna lie to you though, I always wanted to do that since I was a kid. So I started acting as a young age, and for a minute I thought I would be an actor, but I thought it was gonna be a lot of things.
I can see that.
Thought it was gonna be a lot of things, and I had my times with drug and alcohol and women, and slowed me down. But
yeah,
Amy Lee, I hope you heard that. It's called Black Masked.
Yeah.
Right.
Black Masked.
Again, you can find Men of Impact, us. It's us. We're working on going to a nonprofit organization. We're actually working on being an organization, maybe doing some men
events, conferences, get-togethers.
There you go.
Just
Thank you.
Right.
We get together. We do life together, guys. We really do. We all do life together a lot. We go fishing together. We have barbecues together.
Fishing.
We call each other. We text each other. It's just something we do. We do. If you know anybody that needs any help, we'll come.
Please.
I'll put together some people. We will put together some people. We'll come and help. If you know anybody older or anything that needs help around their house, their yard, whatever you might know, call me or email me at Men of Impact with a K, impact with a K, at gmail.com. Like I always say, I know a guy. No matter what you think you need, if you need something, whatever it is, do not go looking for it. Do not go paying for it until you check with me. That doesn't mean I can get you free stuff, because it may be, we got professionals. But whatever it is, if you need someone to talk to, you need something professionally done, you need financial advice, you need legal advice, you need a contractor, you need whatever it is, you need somebody to help you write your resume, whatever it is, don't go paying for it or looking for it until you contact us, man. We know a guy.
That's cool.
We know a guy that at the very least you're going to get somebody honest. They're not going to gouge you.
Yeah.
Either someone honest or someone that can cook really well, right, Anthony?
That's right. We know
because we gotta cook.
We gotta cook.
Brother Joe, we gotta cook.
We got it all. I'm telling. Well, we got it. We got a tattoo artist. We got contractors.
It's never ending, is it?
It's never ending. The list goes on and on. I promise you. And listen, if I don't know a guy, I know a guy who knows a guy. All right. Yeah. So, just let us know. We have a website. www.menofimpt.com. The link to if you don't know how to get on YouTube to subscribe, the link to the YouTube channel is on the website. We are on Facebook, Men of Impact. We are on Instagram, Men of Impact, and it's menofimpact@gmail.com, right? If you have any requests, if you want a tattoo out of Murrieta, send me an email. Listen, I know a guy, and now so do you.
We'll have a good talk too.
You're going to be talking about Jesus.
You're going to be talking about Jesus.
So let's not forget that. Guys out there, don't be discouraged. You see stories like this all the time. These are the kind of stories I'm going to march in front of you. Heroin addict, to a business for himself, to leader of young people at a church.
Only God.
Only God.
Only God.
Right? To the leader of young people at a church. No, you're never too young to figure it out. You're never too old to figure it out. Listen, Jesus will find you where you're at. You just got to turn around. Mm-hmm. That's all you got to do. Turn around. He's right behind you, waiting for you to turn around.
Absolutely.
He'll meet you where you're at. You ain't got to chase him. He's already chasing you.
He's right there.
He's right there.
Right there. Remember, we're all children of God. When you talk to people, remember that. No matter what they think, what they believe, or how they're making you feel, they're still a child of God.
Yeah.
Right? So this is Men of Impact. Ronnie, Rich, thank you so much for coming, guys. It was a pleasure. We'll see you again next Friday.